other, and lead with love. One foot in front of the other, and lead with love.
Don't give up hope.
Don't give up hope.
You're not alone.
You're not alone.
Don't you give up.
Don't you give up.
Keep moving on.
Keep moving on. You gotta put one foot in front of the other, and lead with love. One foot in front of the other, and lead with love. You gotta put one foot in front of the other, and lead with love. One foot in front of the other, and lead with love.
Lift up your eyes.
Lift up your eyes.
Don't you despair.
Don't you despair.
Look up ahead.
Look up ahead.
The path is there.
The path is there. You gotta put one foot in front of the other, and lead with love. One foot in front of the other, and lead with love. You gotta put one foot in front of the other, and lead with love. One foot in front of the other, and lead with love.
I know you're scared,
I know you're scared,
and I'm scared too.
and I'm scared too.
But here I am,
But here I am,
right next to you.
right next to you. You gotta put one foot in front of the other, and lead with love. One foot in front of the other, and lead with love. You gotta put one foot in front of the other, and lead with love. One foot in front of the other, and lead with love. You gotta put one foot in front of the other, and lead with love. One foot in front of the other, and lead with love. You gotta put one foot in front of the other, and lead with love. One foot in front of the other, and lead with love.
Church in Ocean Park Choir. Yeah. Good morning. I'm Janet Gollery McKithen, and I am the minister of the Church in Ocean Park, and I welcome you here. You may not know if you're welcome or feel like you've come into a place like this before and you felt unwelcome, but I want to let you know that you are welcome here. If you're Muslim, if you're Jewish, if you're Hindu, if you're Buddhist, if you're Christian, if you're Jewish, if you're something I'm not mentioned, if you're atheist, if you're agnostic, you're welcome at the Church in Ocean Park. You're welcome if you're single, married, divorced, gay, transgender, very rich, or living on the edge. If you're fidgety or you're very focused, we welcome you. If you just woke up or just got out of jail. We don't care if you're more religious than the Pope. I'd like to see that. Or if you haven't been to the mosque since before the pandemic. We welcome you if you're in recovery or you're still addicted, trying to get into recovery. We welcome you if you like organized religion or if you're repelled by it. We especially welcome you if you're standing in the need of prayer today. If you've been hurt by a religious community, many people have, and we hope you'll find this place to be a place of healing. We welcome you if you're having problems or you woke up soaring on eagle's wings or just a little bit of both. This is a unique multi-religious community that's focused on helping to create a more equitable and sustainable world. And we're glad you're here to help us. We want to begin that we acknowledge we are currently sitting on stolen land, was taken violently from the Chumash, the Quiche, and the Tongva peoples. We acknowledge the harms of genocide, forced assimilation, enslavement, and destruction at the hands of U.S. settler colonialism. We also acknowledge that our country and our communities were all built on the backs of people stolen from Africa, placed into bondage, and forced into labor. We acknowledge that we benefit from that labor that has never been repaid. In our acknowledgement, let us commit ourselves to healing by helping to create a more just and equitable world through the struggle of changing how we do things and how a lot of people are doing things that they see as normal but actually are systemically hurting people. We have biases. Each one of us has biases, and it takes intentionality to go beyond our own box and our own bias, to tear down the boundaries and tear down unjust systems and build new relationships of healing and love. This morning you'll hear from a variety of people. They each individually speak for themselves, and they are a part of the church in Ocean Park, but so are you. So if you hear something that you disagree with, know that your voice and your opinion and your perspective is just as important as whoever just spoke. And don't for 1 minute think that they represent all of us. There's nobody who can represent all of the people of the church in Ocean Park. Thank you for being a part of bending the arc toward justice. Thank you for helping us build a world and a community of more love and compassion, which we desperately need so much right now. We center ourselves each week with a chant by Thich Nhat Hanh. I have arrived, I am home, in the here, and then the now, 3 times. Let's take a deep breath. I have arrived, I am home, in the here and in the now. I have arrived, I am home, in the here and in the now. I have arrived, I am home, in the here and in the now. Welcome to the church in Ocean Park. This is the first Sunday in Advent, and that means that we will light the Advent candles every week, no matter what else we are celebrating. And this Sunday, the first Sunday of Advent, we're very lucky because Elena Sakota is here to help us light the Advent candle. The placing of the candles upon a circle of evergreens is an age-old tradition. Lighting additional candles each day or week as the light wanes has been part of human rituals for centuries upon centuries. We are warmed by the glow and reminded that the wheel of the season will turn and brilliant lengthening days will return. The original Advent wreath in the Christian tradition dates back to the 16th century and included a candle for each of the 24 days leading up to Christmas. For us here in this time, the circle reminds us that life and love will never end. We light candles every week with anticipation as we know a new season will soon be here. Days will become longer, and we know the warmth of the candles will soon be replaced by the warmth of the sun.
Thank you. Hope, the first Advent candle in the candle of hope. Hope is the motivating force that moves us through times of despair. The days are getting shorter, the weather colder, and the nights longer. Hope tells us the longer days are ahead, the new life will emerge, and that we need to hold on just a little longer. With hope, we begin our journey towards the sun and the new life it brings. We light the candle of hope.
What does the Lord require of you? 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 To seek justice and love kindness and walk humbly with your God. To seek justice and love kindness and walk humbly with your God. Justice, kindness, walk humbly with your God. Justice, kindness, walk humbly with your God. We're going to sing this probably every Sunday in Advent. So I like it. I hope you do too. What does the Lord require of you? 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 To seek justice and love kindness and walk humbly with your God. To seek justice and love kindness and walk humbly with your God. Justice, kindness, walk humbly with your God. Justice, kindness, walk humbly with your God. And we also might say, walk humbly on the earth.
Thank you very much for enabling me to share with you on this first Sunday of Advent. My theme today might be a little strange to some persons, maybe, but it is hope and despair. And that was mentioned in the reading of the lighting of the candle as well. Hope and despair, twins, making life great again. Because when we fight, we win. That is the theme. The word "and" there, I did not spell out the word "and," because I use this symbol, you know, the
Ampersand.
that's it. That's it, the ampersand. And it means nothing lasts forever. But there's always an "and." There's always an "and." Our stories continue to be written every day, no matter what life puts before us. And we continue the struggle. We go on and on and on. I want to look at this theme from 3 different angles, and I'll try to be brief. Hope and despair. I want to introduce the scientific understanding. When we speak about hope and despair, then I'll go to the biblical understanding or example. And then I'll end with a sort of philosophical example, or a personal example as well. In our scientific understanding, when we think there is nothing before us, when we think there is nothing there, the James Webb telescope has almost reversed 3/4 of what scientists felt about the universe and about space. It has revealed a lot of things. And once we see what appears to be nothing, there are, in fact, fluctuations of energy. Hope is an energy that fills us. Despair is an energy, a negative energy that despairs us. So I'm saying that in the scientific realm, when we think nothing is there, when we think there is nothing at all, something is there. And the scientists call them quarks. They are quarks. There are quarks out there. Funny word. Funny word. But these quarks immediately produce negative quarks. These positive quarks produce negative quarks. So when you look through the James Webb telescope, for example, and it reaches all millions and billions of miles into space, and we think there's nothing there, there is energy there. There is energy, and the energy produces what we can see with the naked eye, with the help of telescopes and all of that. And these positive quarks, after a brief dance, they collide and extinguish one another. So the negative collides with the positive quarks. And when that happens, life comes into being that we could see. Without the positive and the negative tensions colliding and coming together and seemingly eliminating each other, there is no visible life. There is no visible life. These quarks begin to produce a visible life. Hope is a positive energy. A positive energy of reality. Hope and despair. Despair is the negative energy of reality. And they cannot exist on their own. They cannot exist independently of one another. Why are we hopeful? We are hopeful because something not going right. At the same time, we are hopeful because something is not going forward as we think. So they both exist together. And these twins need to collide. And when they seem to extinguish each other, then a new beginning becomes possible and becomes visible. And that is what we are doing now. That is why we have the tables here today. Because as a result of the collision of our hope and despair at the same time, a new energy is produced among us and within us individually. And so we have new thoughts, new organization, new assessments, new tools to fight with, new learning, new growth, new energy. And as the book of Revelation indicates, despite all the hideous imagery in Revelation, despite the coming of the apocalypse, despite the coming of the Roman military to banish even the oldest follower of Jesus, John, to the Isle of Patmos, it is the very John, in the midst of his despair, who says to us, hope is not lost. Hope is not lost. He says in Revelation 21:5, as the book comes to an end, he says, behold, I make all things new. God says to him, behold, I make all things new. Write, for these words are true and faithful, all things become new. Our biblical understanding, the chosen people were for many years uneasy and in despair after cruel tyrants and rulers. Judges and patriarchs couldn't do the job anymore. Life is progressing. New things are happening. We need a king. So all the other countries nations have kings. We want a king too. And while I'm talking, you could understand, we are saying the same thing. We need a king. We need a king. So Saul, after much preparation, Saul became the first king of Israel. And to make a long story short, Saul was not perfect, of course, and he himself, in the midst of battle, fell on his sword. He died by suicide on the battlefield. And so they needed another king. And after some crises appear again, David became the third king of Israel. Well, David was the poet, the musician, the real person they wanted at this time. And David comes with his psalms and his songs, and Psalm 31:24 says, "Be of good courage, and God shall strengthen your heart. Do not despair." But despair loomed as a Messiah, someone who would lead them into blessed, purposeful, new existence. We need a Messiah. No. Yeah, we need not just a king, we need a Messiah, a real prophet who would eliminate all the wrongs and so on. This messianic hope became a reality as Jesus was born under strange to them, but under wonderful circumstances. He healed the sick, miracles were observed, justice rolled down like waters, and righteousness as an ever-flowing stream. But despair was again united with hope. A tyrant ruler had the children of many families killed throughout the empire. A census, listen to the word, a census led to the expulsion and the movement of thousands of people away from Nazareth and Palestine. Even Jesus and his family had to move and find themselves in Africa. In Africa, North Africa, Egypt. And we today are expecting a kind of census too. Many are going to be moving out. Some have started already. Some have started. Hope and despair collided at the cross even and obliterated each other. Jesus himself says, my God, why hast thou forsaken me?" And so it seemed on the 2 days before Easter Sunday, there was no hope. On Sunday, Easter Sunday, new hope. But there's always the despair. Persecution with new tyrants on the throne. Herod wanting to make the Roman Empire great again. So again, hope and despair clashed, and a new world order began in order to produce a new thing. We want to make Rome great again. Today, as one example, great national and international hope accompanied the first black president. I sat in my room by myself and I looked at all the news as President Obama gradually became president. And I have never seen so much excitement and so much hope in a nation. I've never seen it as I saw it then. A lot of hope, a lot of anticipation, a lot of joy. But again, the ongoing tension continues between these psychic twins, hope and despair. We make 2 steps forward in hope, 1 step backward in despair. The Danish philosopher Søren Kierkegaard sums it up well, sums up our earthly journey well. He says life can only be understood backwards, but we have to move forwards. That is the tension. That is the tension. You see? When we look up at the stars and the heavens, we see the planets and the stars thousands of years ago, millions of years ago. When the light from the sun reaches us, it is 8 minutes ago when it comes to us. So we have to be looking backwards all the time to understand life, but we have to live it forwards. Hope and despair. But I'm saying that we welcome despair with courage, because without it, we cannot enjoy the new energy and the new life and the new directions that hope brings. Hope is only a reality because we desire something better than what we have. So what about our next understanding? Constant despair alone will destroy human existence. And constant hope alone will make us create a false reality. Glad we are that Alexander Pope, as he writes his long essay on man, says hope springs eternal in the human breast. Because hope's twin, despair, springs eternal in the human world. Romans 2:5 puts it well together. Paul in Romans chapter 5 and verse 2 to 5. He says, we have access by faith into this grace wherein we stand, and we rejoice in the hope of the glory of God. And not only so, but we glory in tribulation also, Paul says, knowing that tribulation works patience, patience experience, and experience hope. And hope does not make us ashamed, because the love of God is shed abroad in our hearts by the Holy Spirit, which is given to us. So Paul encourages us with these words. As a pastor and as a chaplain, I have seen hope come alive inside the most destitute and despairing circumstances. Most despairing circumstances. I remember I was speaking to my eldest sister yesterday. Yesterday was my birthday. And I was 81 years of age. And I'm looking back. And I'm looking backwards to see if I will be able to go forwards a little more. And I remember when I was about 6 years of age, 5 or 6, my mother used to remind me about these things. And I was about 5 or 6 years of age, and I had a friend. His name was Tony. Remember his name? His name was Tony Luby, and Tony Luby was very ill. He was in hospital for a long time. And he was my only young male friend in the community at the time. And Toby was dying, and he was discharged from hospital because in those days we want our children and our family to die at home. So he was there at home. Nothing could be done for him. And one day, my mother and the women in the community came together, and they planned to go to the home of this boy Tony to sing and pray. And I was 5 or 6, so my mother said, well, you better stay home because you small, you don't have no business in this. And I say, well, I mean, he's young too, he's my friend. And if he's dying, why I can't be there? That not right. I used to say that not right a lot of times. I said that not right. And so I hid behind my mother's clothes, long clothes, and I went in, and about 5, 10, 15 women were there singing and clapping, singing the hymns. And I was there crouched down beneath my mother's skirt. I was looking at the bed, and I saw my friend Tony turn to his side. And he turned to his side, and then he sat up. He sat up. And I haven't heard he was dead, but up to today, he must be still alive. He must be still alive. With all the clapping and the singing, he just sat up. And he said, Mom, can I get something to eat? And that was it. That was a miracle that I saw, that I experienced. I believe we are here to help make this eternal hope an eternal reality. A glimpse of this future eternal hope is experienced in the Christmas season. We are not only going towards Christmas, Advent, we are not only going towards it or preparing for it, but Christmas comes to us. Advent comes to us. So let the fight to keep this season alive, for when we fight, we win. Fight the good fight with all thy might. Christ is thy strength, and Christ thy right. Lay hold on life, and it shall be thy joy and thy crown eternally. Thanks be to God. Amen.
This song comes from the South African people. We are marching in the light of God. We are marching in the God. We are marching in the light of God. We are marching in the light of God. We are marching, marching, we are marching. We are marching in the light of God. We are marching, marching, we are marching. Ooh, we are marching in the light of God. Siama kokenyere kwekos. Siama kokenyere kwekos. Siama kokenyere kwekos. Siama kokenyere kwekos. Siama hama sia. Siama kokenyere kwekos. Siama hama siama. Siama kenyere kwekos. We are marching in the light of peace. 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 We We are marching, marching, we are marching, ooh, marching in the light of peace. Marching, marching, we are marching, ooh, we are marching, the light of peace. We are marching in the light of God. 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 We are marching, marching, we are marching. Oh, we are marching. The light of God. We are marching, marching, we are marching. Oh, we are marching in the light of God. We are marching in the light of light. 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 We are marching, marching, we are marching. Ooh, we are marching in the light of light. We are marching, marching, we are marching. We are marching in the light of God. We are marching in the light of God. We are marching in the light of God. Woo! Woo!
Well, good. Keep on marching. Keep on marching. Thank you so much, Chaplain Joseph. That was so wonderful the way you wove all that together and helping us understand despair and hope, and because I think we feel hopefully both of those things. But this is our time for community sharing, and that means that you have an opportunity to say something, whether this is your first time here or you've been here many times. Say if you'd like to just make a comment about what you've heard or you'd like to ask a question. This is our community sharing time. Is there anybody who has a comment or a question?
Thank you, Joseph, for that amazing message, which I find myself very much in agreement with. But so I'd like to do something in the way of sort of piggybacking on what you've laid out for us. One way I sometimes think about these things is that something that hope and despair have in common is that they both can vary in their scope. That is, I can hope for some particular thing, and I may have to realize that I'm just not going to get that thing. And then I can be in despair with respect to that particular hope that I had. And that is partly just a part of being healthy, is to sometimes give up. Because as you said, if you don't, you live in an unreal world, you know. So recently I've almost about to give up on my hope of playing for the Los Angeles Lakers. But I think that could free me up. I won't have to practice foul shots every day, and I can do other things. No, but actually, this can be, levity aside, this can be extremely painful. Like parents may have to give up hope that their child will recover from leukemia or something. I mean, it's not a light thing to give up hope, but sometimes we have to go through it and we mourn. But hopefully, we don't reach a despair that's just sort of all-encompassing. And again, as you said, if you only despair, that's terribly destructive. So I think we're in a time now where we're having to give up some of our hopes, but we don't want to give up a general hopefulness, and we'll find new things to invest hope in.
Yeah, what you say is true, because sometimes we can have what we call false hope. There is false hope when you really see nothing could really be done. That cannot change. A leopard can't change its spots. So you have to come to a realization sometimes that you sort of have to bury your hope, because it may injure you more by remaining to be hopeful when you see that, hope has reached its end or its goal. So we call that false hope, but it is very hard, yes.
This was so wonderful. You're such a scholar. Chaplin Joseph, that was amazing, weaving all that together. And it's a really important topic right now. It's been on my mind a lot because I tend to be a worrier. I worry about a lot of different things. And worry, there's a phrase, slippery slope. If you start worrying, sometimes it's a slippery slope and you just keep worrying and feeling more in despair and unable to lift yourself up into hopefulness. I wish that there was a slippery slope for hope. I think that sometimes external circumstances might induce that, like there's something out there that might happen, and so I feel hopeful, and I feel more hopeful, and I feel more hopeful, and that did happen during this last year, but apparently it was a false hope. So, but what I wanted to say was that this thing about worrying, I've been thinking about so much, because worrying about what may happen doesn't change what's going to happen. And therefore, if I ruin my life by worrying, and it doesn't happen, then I've really wasted my time and my energy. And you talked a lot about energy, and energy can just like slip through your body into the earth, right through. I can feel it go through the soles of my shoes, right away from me. And so recently, there's an example in my family. We have a new grandson, Milo, who's 3 months old. He was breech, and so he was a cesarean. And sometimes breech babies, their hips are all like, they're so jammed in there that they develop hip dysplasia. And so in a recent pediatrician visit, the pediatrician was manipulating Milo's legs, and she heard a clicking sound, and she said, "Oh dear, this may be, hip dysplasia, and we have to take an ultrasound." And apparently the treatment is to put the baby in a cast for 6 weeks, a body cast, including the hips. So of course, Emily and Patrick were very worried. I was very worried. I'm lying in bed picturing this baby in a cast and miserable all the time. It's hard enough having a 3-month-old baby who cries. So it turned out that they had a January 2nd visit, which meant that they would have to worry all the way through the holidays, which just felt miserable. And by chance, somebody canceled and they got a visit last Friday, and he's okay. He does not have hip dysplasia. But what that really showed me was that I could have been in despair for 2 months. And so I have to, when I'm upset about something, and it might have been hip dysplasia, right? And so I have to balance this hope and despair stuff. I have to be hopeful. And when I found myself, I was watching a comedy show, and I felt guilty for laughing while I was feeling bad about Milo. And we can't do that. We have to balance them in our lives so that we keep our energy level there for when we need it, which is especially when things don't go well.
Yeah, I want to thank you too. In hearing you, I am reminded of much of my childhood being involved in activism. There was a group in LA called the Panthers, the Black Panther Party. And one of the things that keeps going on in my head, and it gets re-invoked when you say that, you can kill the revolutionary, but you can't kill the revolutionary spirit. And as activists, when I see you hiding behind your mother's skirt and noticing the child stand up and her invoking, the prayers, the spirit is being evoked. And I have to believe your last statement that you didn't hear that he was dead, so he's probably alive. That's all so critical now, knowing that we're about to face something that's debilitating and traumatic and full of despair. What else is significant in that? You vowed to be self-determinative. Yes, you were going to go and take or adopt and, brace yourself for the punishment after somebody told you that you shouldn't do this.
But they were so happy with the result, they forgot the punishment.
That's and this is the spirit. That's the self-determinative spirit that, I think is, I don't want to say lacking, but I would say is needed within this text.
Yeah.
Would you give it to Lena?
Thank you. Thank you all so much. Thank you for sharing, and thank you for reminding me that music is such a powerful healer. My mother was diagnosed with cancer. Not given less than a year to live. She lived 11 years without pain. But when she was in a coma and about to die, I couldn't accept that. And I didn't know what to do. So I held her hand. She was like really gone. And I said, do you remember the prayer? Let's say the prayer. So I said the prayer to her, and then I started singing. And I sat there in the hospital room singing all night long, in every language and every song that came to my mind. My mother was healed and lived another 2 years. Mm-hmm. So my feeling is maybe we could sing and listen to music through this despair that we are experiencing right now. So,
yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Look at all those songs that came out of slavery and the movement, and we still catch the spirit of them today. Mm-hmm.
Hi, thank you so much, Reverend Joseph. Many years ago, some of you know, 6 years ago now, I had cancer, and I'm cured now, thank you. But in the midst of, coming out of that, I ended up developing an exercise habit, some of you know, on the beach here. And I describe my exercise habit as I somehow inadvertently joined a tribe of masochists. I didn't know how that happened to me. And this morning I'm reminded that I've now somehow joined a tribe of believers in God. It definitely came up a lot of times today. I was like, wait a minute, where am I? But I just want to say, in the midst of that, your talk today, just out of the blue, struck on things that have been on my mind, and I want to give thanks to that. Your overall message, of course, I completely believe in. I just want to say hope as 0-point energy is something I'm in the midst of a vacuum. I'm going to go look on that and think on that. And again, to say that thinking of your life as a story backwards, how am I here? I don't know why. I don't know why I'm here exactly, but I'm here, and it's important that I'm here. And so just want to say thank you to everybody.
Thank you.
All right, is there anybody else?
Okay, thank you. Oh, online.
Online. Is there somebody? Abby? There you go. Oh, no.
Recently, I had two people very close to me who died, and I got to be with them, in one case probably hours, and in another case 2 days. And it those times it seemed like what both of us wanted was physical closeness. But as far as hope, I mean, I couldn't manage my own feelings of, yeah, I'm going to lose two people, but life goes on. But for them, if you don't want to talk about the great beyond and, being with Jesus, what does hope mean for somebody who's just on the verge of death?
What does
hope mean when somebody's on the verge of death?
on the verge of death? Well, we have the Christian hope if the person is Christian. We have the Christian hope and that is what we share as chaplains as well. If you are a person of faith, it's easier to encourage them, If you have hope that when you die, I try to help people to understand, a family to understand, that when you die, your family will be taken care of. There was one patient who was dying. We believe she was dying, and she did die the next day. But before she died, she wanted me to come and pray with her. And my prayer was to ask for a blessing for her son, whom she had not seen in years. And I believe that she was disturbed about dying and not seeing her son. So I prayed for the son and assured her that the son will be taken care of and that God will bless him and keep him. And she felt sort of reassured that that blessing would help the son. And she died the next day because she died with that hope and that sort of assurance that, the concern was not for her, but for her son that she was going to leave behind. So, people can get hope. If the person is not religious or anything.
Yeah, neither of them was.
If the person is not religious, I may, while I'm visiting them or speaking with family, I may ask, well, what interests you? Some may say astronomy, some may say family, some may say gardening. If I don't garden, I'm not myself. So I relate that to their situation. If you like stars and astronomy and astrology, well, I say, oh, well, I give examples of how I feel when I look through the telescope and so on. How do you feel? And I give them that assurance that, when they pass on, they will be part of the stars.
Yeah, so I think it depends on what their beliefs are.
So it depends on what the belief is. Yeah.
So you go with whatever their beliefs
relate
are.
to the beliefs, yeah.
Yeah. All right, are there others? All right, we thank you so much,
Thank you.
Chaplain Joseph, again. And yes, let's give him a hand. And we'll have a moment of silence, and this time it's going to be broken with a poem by Elena.
Solitude. I love solitude. Solitude takes me back to the beginning. My first tear, first blanket, first hug. Solitude takes me to the shore, walking in and out of the water when the world weighs heavy on my shoulders. Solitude brings me hope for all mankind, working together, not giving up to hatred and disillusion. Solitude pulls my life into focus, truly invigorated by the ocean's blue. Thank you.
We have a number of announcements this morning. One is that next Sunday, this may be a surprise to you, but our speaker will be Nancy Berlin. She's from the Poor People's Campaign, and they've recently had an amazing gathering of folks come together, pulling people together as a result of the national elections. And so she has a broad perspective, as well as being an activist for decades and decades, and working with all kinds of different people who are vulnerable and on the margin. So she will have a lot of, it'll be a great morning. And then in the afternoon, some of us are going to an immigration workshop from 2 to 4 in Los Angeles. And so we'll be putting out more information about that. But if we do have room, and we do have room in some of our cars to take folks, so we'll be meeting here at about 1:30, and then going to a workshop that CLU is putting on, well, CLU is a part of, from 2 to 4, and we'll be back by 4:30. Are there other announcements this morning?
Yes, Nancy Berlin is my stepdaughter, so I'm gonna be very pleased that she's coming. This evening is the Committee for Racial Justice gathering at Virginia Avenue Park, first Sunday of the month, and this is a very special night for us in many ways. The theme of this night is very much like Joseph's theme, only we used the word celebration and pain. But we are going to be celebrating the year. We're going to be having the gospel choir that Louise is part of, and I think Hurley Jim is too, come and sing to start us off with a lot of joyous music. And then we're going to celebrate Carla Fantozzi, who is head of Virginia Avenue Park, who has supported us so strongly all of our existence and fought to keep us being able to meet in the park when the city wanted to toss us out because of the white supremacists that came to us in 2017. So we'll have a little time to honor and have people speak about Carla's support and what it means to them. And then we will have a update, our updates usually we start the workshops with, and this will be an expanded time period of updates because it will include the texts that a number of black students all over the country receive. Some of those students are here in Santa Monica that received these texts about the return of slavery and get on the bus and so forth. So some of their parents will be talking with us about that, and we can all talk together about how we can help support them. And then we'll close the evening looking back over the year and have a video of the installation of the Black Apology that the City Council passed 2 years ago, but they finally installed the wording of it on a permanent plaque in front of City Hall. Anyway, so I hope you'll join us. Potluck supper at 6. Program starts at 6:30.
Tuesday at 2 this week is poetry. I went to the library, and there's so many interesting books on poetry. I found one on 9/11, people writing about 9/11, which is, along the lines of despair that we're talking about here. and one of Native American poetry. So we read poetry to each other and enjoy online.
Great. Bob?
Okay, I want to make an announcement about the Committee for Racial Justice book group. We will meet next on the 14th of December, and we'll be trying to complete our discussion of this book, which is called The Ethnic Cleansing of Palestine, and it's by Ilan Pape. See me if you want to be put on our list, and I'll send you out a link to that meeting.
Great. So actually, you could stay here all day till about 7 if you want, because after the service, there's a potluck. If you didn't bring anything, yep, that's all right. There'll be plenty. There's enough food. Just stay for if you'd like to stay for a potluck. And then we are having our third workshop. This workshop today is about specific issues that you want to address, that you want to take action on, or you think you may want to take action on. So there'll be possibly a table on what we can do locally. I know Michelle Wittig is coming with some specific example of something that we can do to protect immigrants in Santa Monica. And then there's what we could pressure Biden and the Congress on. There's a table on the variety of different, there's one on Surge, which is showing up for racial justice. Charlie will be back with us to host a table for that. And any issue that you are concerned about, we will create a group with that in mind. And so if you'd like to stay and find out what I'm talking about, that would be great. We had a panel last week. We're not having a panel this week. That panel went the entire time, so we didn't have time for our breakout groups. This is our breakout group session, so you don't have to have come last week in order to do this week. So just if you'd like to stay and see what we're talking about. But it is all related to responding to the results of the national election. And then that's from 12 to 2. And then at 4 o'clock, if you want to have another potluck, you're welcome to have a potluck with the Queer Collective and the Gay Straight Alliance of the high school. The Gay Straight Alliance and the high school is actually putting it on, and they invited the Queer Collective to join it. So it's for LGBTQIA plus folks and allies. So you can come to that no matter who you are, if you're an ally. And that's up from 4 to 7. And then there's a CRJ potluck as well. So you can have potluck 3 times if you... Yes.
What's the topic of the LGBT?
That one is just Thanksgiving, just giving thanks for one another. There's no topic this time. There normally is. Other announcements. Now what? Offering? And now, yes, Craig Hamilton. Oh, thank you. And as he's getting the baskets, I want to mention that there's Charge Conference. Our annual meeting is called Charge Conference, just to confuse people. That's what we like to do. We like to use different language for like normal stuff. So it's an annual meeting, and it'll be here in person at 11 o'clock on Wednesday, December 4th. This one is, I would love for everyone who can, no matter if this is your first time walking in the door, to come to that, because I would like the sort of like my boss, the district superintendent, to meet us and get to know who we are. And who we are is who's in this room right now. If you had just been here a couple times or once, you're a part of this group. And so I would like him to meet you, because he'll get to know who the church in Ocean Park is. You might realize that this is not like a normal church, and so we need to show him that. And the way we show him is we show him by people, like what people are involved with us. That shows him who we are. So I would love for you, and also would love for you to meet him. When I've met him, he's very, very personable. He's not an elitist. He's not trying to hold anything on above anyone. He's really a great down-to-earth guy. So you could meet him, he will meet us, find out that instead of a cross, this is what we have on our altar, and those types of things. Bonnie?
I just want to say, too, that when we met on Zoom last year, he just seemed so open.
Yes.
My prayers that he stays open.
Yeah, he seems very open.
To us, to who we are, to our fumbling with his name. You know, he just seemed open.
Right, he's very, but he doesn't, I don't know if he yet knows how multi-faith we are, but we'll find out.
Okay, thank you. So you know the little drill with these, they're like despair, they're empty right now. So my hope is that all of you will do things like put your change in the bucket or folding money or checks in the baskets, and if you want to do something else, you can also see the little chart up here. You can give online quite easily and regularly. So thank you.
Way down inside of me, I got a fire going on. Way down inside of me, I got a fire going on. Part of me wants to sing by the light, and part of me has to cry, cry, cry. Way down inside of me, I got a fire going on. Way down inside of me, I got a fire going on. Part of me wants to sing by the light, and part of me wants to cry, cry, cry. Way down inside of me, I got a fire going on. Oh, way down inside of me, I got a fire going on. Part of me wants to sing by the light, and part of me has to cry, cry, cry. Cry, cry, cry. Ooh, cry, cry, cry.
Great, yes. So at this time, normally we have somebody that does bread. So bread is somebody passes around bread and speaks from their heart. Nobody is signed up for today, but the bread lady is going to pass around the sign-up sheet for you if you'd like to do that on another occasion. Anybody can sign up, and it's about 3 minutes you can speak and pass around bread. But since we're passing around bread after the church service, I think it's okay that we don't have someone this morning. So please join me in a closing circle.
Reach out and touch somebody's hand. Make this world a better place if you can. Reach out and touch somebody's hand. Make this world a better place if you can. Reach out and touch somebody's hand. Make this world a better place if you can. Somebody's hand. Make this world a better place if you can.
All right, welcome to our closing circle. I'm glad that you're here. This is our time for joys and concerns. If you have a joy or a concern you'd like to share, let me know and I will give you the mic.
I have a joy, and I'm sorry if I don't remember the exact wording, but a former defense minister under Netanyahu has claimed that Netanyahu it's pretty much like genocide, the words that he used. And so I hope that raises hope in the people's lives that live there, that something will come of this, that nothing will come of this war, that maybe there will be a peace.
I'm playing outside at Holy Gym, and I got my slime kinetic sand, and I have toys in there, and we were playing with it, and we were playing with my toys in the slime kinetic sand. If you put water on them, they can stick to the wall.
Thank you, Izzy. Anybody else? Anybody else?
I just came back from visiting my mom in Indiana. Some of you know she's quite ill, very late stage Alzheimer's. But I was with my brother, and he's taken most of the lead in taking care of my mom, and I just wanted to lift him up. I think he's really, really struggling with where we're at and what's going to happen. So my brother, Bob.
I have a bit of good news. My house in Pine Island off the coast of Florida is now rehabbed from being hit by 2 hurricanes last year. And so my church on Pine Island, the Pine Island Community Church, PICC, they keep wanting me to go back and visit. So I'll let you know if I'm going back to visit. But if you ever go to Pine Island, hunt for the church, PICC. Do not confuse it with PIPC. That is Pine Island Pest Control. So remember, you're gonna be hunting for PICC. And PICC is made up of the Methodist Church that's in the middle of the island, and on the north end of the island where my house is, it's a Catholic church, and on the south end of the island is the big Lutheran church. But we all share. The Catholic Church has a huge, huge community room, and that's where a lot of filming of Hee Haw for TV was done.
Yeah, I guess I'm concerned that on the left that we're not going to take the necessary actions that need to take to defend like the marginalized people, because we tend to be a peaceful group of people like on the left as a whole, and I just am concerned that we won't take the action necessary to defend people. Not this group in particular.
Janet?
Yes.
I have one.
Yes. Oh,
I have
online. Hi.
Hi. I would like to lift up our former minister, Standing Richards, and her family. They're going through a lot of challenges.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
I have one, Janet.
Who's that? Gina.
Gina.
Hi, Gina.
Hi, Church in Ocean Park. Yeah, I want to lift up our holiday party that's going to be coming up in the next 3 weeks. But I also, I thought I'd get a chance to announce it as well. But
Go ahead.
if I could
You
just
can
take,
announce it now. Go ahead.
Okay, so we're having our annual holiday party. It's going to be December the 21st, and I am here to ask if we can get volunteers to help the day before, the day of. We always have some issues with getting items for like the adult kids, more of the high school kids. So if anybody would like to donate any type of gift cards for the high schoolers, that would help out a lot. I never know how many we'll get, but you know, we're expecting, I'm reaching out to a whole lot of people this year because we got connected with a distribution center, and they gave us like a lot of clothes this year and a lot of toys, you know. And so I just praying that we get a lot of kids. So if anybody knows any children that, I mean, you don't have to be of any social, economical, you know, you don't have to be rich, poor, whatever. You just come just because you want to be around people that are, you know, having a good time. So I just ask that, you know, if you can, you know, donate, like, and when it comes to gift cards, we ask for gift cards of like $20, $25. We ask for like more like, I know what a popular one was last year was the Amazon. So Amazon, Target, Starbucks, we try to look for places that are, in Santa Monica in case, some of our kids, they don't have transportation. They can go to Target or they can go to Starbucks or they can go online. So if anybody wants to help out with that, if they want to come and help the day before to sort toys, that'll be around, let's say 5 o'clock in the evening on Friday, the 20th. They can come and help sort toys. We need people to come in and pick up tables, lift up tables, carry them upstairs, set them up and stuff like that.
Okay. Okay.
There's something anybody can do, whether you're blowing up a balloon or whatever. So don't feel like you can't do anything. There's so much, preparation,
Right.
and stuff like that. So if you're not doing anything, please come out and help us.
We had
And,
the balloons still up for the toddler service. We have a toddlers with service 4 o'clock on Christmas Eve, and last year was full of balloons, and they loved that. This whole place was full of balloons.
We're doing balloons again this year, so we thought that was really, it was good.
Thank you, Gina. Are there birthdays or anniversaries? Oh.
So, Gina, do we ever pass out leaflets in the neighborhood? Like a flyer saying, we're having a holiday party, you can bring your kids? Because maybe the week before, we could all take a few and just strategize who's going to go on 3rd and on Hill and so on, pass them out to the neighborhood.
Anybody's more than welcome to do that,
Great.
anyone, but I know that we don't, I personally don't print a whole bunch of them because I don't have a printer or anything like that. Anita's been gracious to maybe print like 20 copies or something like that, but
Okay,
if the
yeah,
church
we can probably print some here, but thank you, you guys. Are
Yeah.
there any birthdays or anniversaries to celebrate?
Birthday.
Yes, Chaplin Joseph. Yes. Okay, happy birthday to Joseph.
Okay, any other birthdays? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Joseph. Happy birthday to you. All right. We are gentle, loving people, and we are singing for our lives. We are gentle, loving people, and we are singing for our lives. We're a land of many colors, and we are singing for our lives. We are a land of many colors, and we are singing for our lives. We are a gentle, angry people, and we are singing for our lives. We are gentle, angry people, and we are singing for our lives. And we are singing for our lives.
Now, as we prepare to say carry on together, people on Zoom can unmute and chaotically say it with us. If we raise our hands high, because we're going to carry on no matter what happens, right? 1, 2, 3, carry on.
Carry on.
Anybody who wants to have communion with us will be meeting in that room in a few minutes. And that you don't have to be any certain faith tradition in order to do that.
Here's a song by Mary Gaucher. My father could use a little mercy now. The fruits of his labor fall and rot slowly on the ground. His work is almost over. It won't be long. He won't be around. I love my father. He could use some mercy now. My brother